Hey traders, David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. You're here for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. Today is Wednesday, November 13, 2024. We're looking at a daily chart of the SPY or Spider, which is the proxy for the S&P 500. What do we have on the docket today? Well, by the end of the day, it was a nothing burger. Burger is a technical term. She basically ate time off the clock, basically an inside day-ish to yesterday. Inside day, meaning today's high was inside of yesterday's high as well as the low by 6 cents on the high nonetheless, but still an inside day. So essentially they're beginning to eat time off the clock. Eating time off the clock is a corrective move in and of itself. Frankly, there's no material change in the SPY from yesterday to today. However, but wait, there's more. Today was really a pretty good / profitable trading day from a morning business perspective. How about this one given out to the live room members basically in real time? It was about maybe 30-40 cents away from 61.11. 61.11 was put on the board. Some traders took the trade. 61.11, a little tiny spike of it. Low of day happens to be 61.06. And what did they do? They ripped it back up in the other direction. Live room trading situation. Anybody make money today in the live room? Inside the numbers? Anybody use the numbers to their advantage? Post a comment under the video. Let other traders out there know if this is a place where you can find value either inside the numbers or the live trading room. We had an 8:30 a.m. economic data point was released. The goose operation is alive and well. That was at 8:37. After 8:30, basically the market was down. CPI came out. They goosed the market up a little bit, and then they hung around the pivot. How do I know that? 9:05. What's the scoop today? 597.40 is our early pivot. Let's start there. The green line is at 597.40. How do we use the pivot? We use it in many different ways. Here's a couple of examples. Sometimes we'll have a trade to the pivot. Other times we'll have a trade at the pivot for a long or short entry. The pivot is an important number. It can be support and or resistance. If price can't stay above the pivot, they're going to fall to the next number in the sequence. If price gets above the pivot, they're going to trade to the next number in the sequence. Note or notice where the pivot is, 597.40. Now let's go put some next numbers in the sequence on the board. What I'm describing is the reason why it's important to have the pivot each and every morning. So for example, if they're below the pivot, it keeps the door open for a zone between 596.50 and 595.30. Now watch how we use this. You got to stay with me. Notice a couple of things. 596.50. Look at the end of the day. Both ends of the 5-minute candle, 596.50 and the pivot, 597.40. High in this candle, 597.39. Are there any accidents or coincidences in the market? And the short answer is no, sir, no, ma'am. Here's another way we used this information, 596.50. Look over here and you'll notice when they came into 596.50, they immediately gave us the base hit. So we were able to book a profit. That happened in the live room and inside the numbers. This was the first trade of the day. Want to guess where the second trade of the day was? It was a spike, the former low, get close to 596. This is what I said live in real time in the live room, down to a spike of 595.30, and 595 is the same as 595.30. And that was the place where they ultimately ripped them back up in the other direction. How you doing? Trade number 2. Whopper with cheese. But wait, there's more. On the flip side, if They run up to 598.70 to a spike of 599. It's an area the bulls shouldn't be able to simply waltz right on through. A la, that's overhead resistance. And there's your overhead resistance. There's your first time, best time, spike of the whole thing. Nice pullback. They did it again, pulled back, did it again, and then finally went down into the end of the day. A la, that's not an area they should be able to waltz right on through. So right there at the opening bell, long before the opening bell, we had the support, we had the resistance, and then you had the commentary throughout the morning session, which supports everything we just described, including where the trades existed. For example, 596, give or take, down to 595.30, give or take, is the new zone for a bounce back in the other direction. This was after the first trade already happened. We call that one in the live room a play it again Sam type of trading opportunity. Kind of twice in the same zone. Play it again Sam. Pause the video. Read the notes, go back to the chart, and double check the work. It's all in here. Everything you need to know, everything you need to find success using the numbers throughout the morning session of the trading day. This is a morning business. Our trades occur when the majority of the activity and participation and volume occurs in the market. Either way, we give you the numbers for the whole entire day. Once again, how you doing? And by the way, we're covering all these markets as part of Inside the Numbers and the live room, which is why, and now it's coming in days, not weeks, but in days, the price is going up. I'm tired of giving this stuff away. Existing members will be grandfathered in. It's for new members coming on board. It's not going up tremendously. It's just going up a little bit. More value, higher price. That's the way business works. What's going on over in Camp IWM? How about the old gap and crap situation? Here's an hourly chart. Here's the opening print. And they went down and finished basically almost on the lows into the end of the day. A gap and crap situation, my favorite market leading indicator, down about 1%, $2.35 at the end of the day. We're going to take notice. It's a puzzle piece. It's on the table. The old gap and crap situation. We're going to use this low from the 6th of November. The low is 232.75 as our bogey. She stays above that price. She's okay, stays in the uptrend. She comes below that price. Uptrend still intact for the time being, but there's another leg down coming, and it really will open the door down to this gap over here. Don't have to get there, but can get there. Write this stuff down, put it on a sticky note. What about the folks down at the transportation department? My second favorite market leading indicator, a number one canary in the coal mine. However, the second favorite market leading indicator is canceling out Camp IWM. So IWM, or the small cap stuff, was down about 1%. The transports were up about 0.9%, close enough to 1%, where they're going to cancel each other out. We have this bullish, flaggish kind of situation going on with Team Transports up here. Buttigieg's crew only for another couple of months. We still are extended away pretty far from home base or the 20-period moving average. So for them to move sideways and give home base a chance to creep up toward price, couple of down days in the mix, and they'll work off some of this quote-unquote, air quotes, overbought condition. Now, what about the Q people? The Q people are eating time off the clock, going sideways around the current highs. Again, just as described, giving home base a chance to creep up toward price, kind of trying to reset or recock the gun, reset the tape. That's what's going on here as they eat time off the clock. No real change from yesterday. What about the financial people? Up 3 cents today. We can't make a federal case out of that. If there's ever a case for eating time off the clock, that's what this chart over the last few days is saying. So there's no change in the XLF for the financial complex, if you will. And yet here we are again with Smash Mouth down another $4 into or right above the 100 period moving average. Filled this open gap today. We'll see if they can try and put in a higher low situation, but we do have this $14 down day that I can't unknow that information. Big volume day, big down day. They tried to recapture that price, couldn't do it, have since failed. Are they going to put in the higher low, or are they going to give up this low? And if they give up this low, you know the market's going to be, the rest of the markets are going to be in corrective mode at the time. There's an old saying on Wall Street, if the semis fail, you better haul ass. They haven't failed on a weekly chart. Let's keep that in mind. These charts are not the same. The daily chart is not the weekly. Get below this 20-week moving average and give up a couple of other prices in here, and you'll be already in corrective mode. Other markets will be following suit. But in terms of the weekly chart, we talked about it last night, is this going to be eating time off the clock, building energy for another move higher? Is that a bullish situation to run a test of this breakdown candle high? That is one of the possibilities on the board. Or is this a potential lower high situation with a failure on the horizon? We don't know yet, but while they're above all the moving averages on a weekly basis, there's technically nothing wrong with Smash Mouth. The trend is your friend until it's over. Everything does morph from one time frame to another. So certainly this candle I keep referencing, and the fact that we have not yet been able, or she's not yet been able to get back above after a try or two, that's information for the bear case. But if in fact she does get above that price, if she does put in a higher low situation here, so let me get that line off and do this the way I intended to, which is a smaller line here. That's a low, potential higher low. Let's just hypothetical situation, hypothesize that. Higher low here, and then a takeoff again to the upside. And if she can get above this particular breakdown candle high, what did we say this will be at? 275 or more. This low here, 240.28 to be exact. We'll use that as our bogey from a daily chart perspective, closing daily below there, and then the weekly chart is in jeopardy by a Friday's close if they're so going to do that. Have I told you how much I appreciate each and every one of you? Without you, these videos, they're not possible. That is true and accurate information. We're pulling the ripcord here today. I'm David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis.